What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. Yes, we are on location, coming to you from Amelia Island, north of Jacksonville, right on the coast. My wife thinks this is a vacation because our home's getting pummeled by a hurricane. Anyway, so looks like it's about to make landfall. It is a Cat 4 as of right now, looks like. So came off of a Cat 5 where it slammed into Cancun and looks like it's going to drop down a little bit, but it still looks like a direct hit. So anyway, hopefully everything is still there when we get back. So coming to you from the, we'll call it seaside, Atlantic Ocean views, heavy waves over here, 6 footers at least, craziness. Um, Anyway, we're talking Ryan Day's press conference today. Apologies for the quality of this video. I have to use the installed camera that comes with my Mac, so nothing great to look at. But hopefully you can hear me well. And so we're going to get into this Ryan Day press conference. I'm going to lay out what he said, the topics, and then give you my take on them. So let's get into it. He said, he was asked about this team being battle tested, and the lighting's going to be a little wonky through this, so I apologize. I just don't have any. Just maybe I can turn on this lamp. Let's try that. On that. Oh yeah, it's romantic. Better. Anyway, so he was asked, is this team battle tested right now? And he said this is a different test than last week with Iowa, of course, but it was good to see the team respond in the second half like they did last week. So on the offense, the red zone effectiveness, the execution has been good. Will Howard's ability to run and his accuracy down there has been key. It's also the approach and the scheme. So hat tip to Chipper there on the scheme comment and their approach, play calling, basically is what he's saying. Also, Will Howard came here to play in games like this. He has played in games like this. I would argue maybe not so much in the Big 12. I don't know. Don't recall a Big 12 game that got this much attention other than Texas versus Oklahoma, right? The shootout. But anyways, tit for tit. On evaluating Will Howard in the portal back in the winter, he said he was asked if there was anything that stood out about Will Howard in big games, and Ryan Day said his legs were part of those big games. That becomes an X factor in games like this. Then it goes from there on how they evaluated him. He has all the other skills as well, but it started with his ability to run in big games. So he does every time he gets the opportunity. Ryan Day is going to talk about Will Howard's ability to run, and just reminds us of Kyle McCord's lack of the running ability last year, and how night and day different it is right now. Does a veteran change your approach to a game like this? He said all games are big. If we say it's about us all the time, then it is even in games like this. So the nameless, faceless opponent has been the mantra all year, and focusing on just do your job to the best of your ability. It doesn't matter who the other guy is. Ryan Day was asked if he's gotten what he thought he would get out of Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. Day said that they're both team players. They want to win as a team. They're running really hard. It's been fun to watch. They both want the ball. They need to take care of the ball this weekend and run downhill. And they're both 3-down backs that can protect and run routes. I would agree with all of those points. Each one, check them off. Yep. And they do need to take care of the ball this week. I don't think either one of them has even laid it on the carpet. I'm pretty sure we have no fumbles, either lost or maintained. Anyway, so at the right guard position, this one's key. Ryan Day said Tegra Shabola is the full-time starter right now. He's getting better. They felt he gives Ohio State the best chance to win. in last week's game. So he played the majority of the snaps. I think Cerebell only played like three later in the game. So right guard position maybe is not up for grabs anymore. So quick little 3 week battle, and it's back to Taggart. On the defense, Ryan Day talked about the cornerbacks. They said they're going to get challenged this week in a lot of different areas. Those guys are a big part of the defense, and it's good to see IGB and Denzel Burke get interceptions in the last 2 weeks. Denzel got one 2 weeks ago, and IGB got his first one last week. On Tyleek Williams, he said Tyleek was solid last week, got his hands on some people, knocked them back. You can obviously feel his presence in there. He can rush the passer as good as anybody on the inside. I would promote all of those points as well. I felt like there was a big difference with Tyleek in there, mostly from the front four. Everybody was getting into the backfield. So, and I agree, he was knocking people back. How critical was special teams in this game? Ryan Day said every play is going to matter in a game like this. Both returners are dynamic. You never know when one play is going to come. So, and this is better be on his stuff, and we'll see who's kick returning. On Oregon, what does this kind of game mean for you and the team in relation to the league? He said, I think it's great because you control your own destiny. They're fighting for an opportunity to go to Indianapolis and the playoffs. So there's a lot at stake, and that's the way we want it. We've talked about this game, this is my opinion. We've talked about this game for like 6 months. It seems like I did a full Oregon offense and defense preview back in like July or August, something like that. So we've had this game circled on our calendars, and I'm sure the players have too, because this has been a ramp up in competition, and now you're kind of peaking it against this opponent. He was asked about the difficulties of a long road trip. He said, I don't really see it as much of a challenge that way. It's a couple hours longer than Nebraska in terms of the flight time. He said they're going to stay on Eastern time, not going to make a bigger deal of it than it is. Now, there has been talk by talking heads, which is what they do, about Big Ten teams not doing so well when traveling more than two or more time zones away from home. But I will say most of this is because the teams that lost weren't favored anyways. You got, let's see, UCLA went to Hawaii. They won that game. They were favored. Indiana went to UCLA. They won. They were favored there as well. Then you got USC went to Michigan. They lost. They were favored. UCLA went to LSU. Was that at LSU? Anyway, they lost. We're not favored. Northwestern went to Washington. They won. We're not favored. Purdue, Oregon State. No, I'm sorry, Northwestern lost. My bad. But they were not favored. Purdue, Oregon State lost. The traveling team lost. We're not favored. Washington, Rutgers, the traveling team lost. They were not favored. Wisconsin at USC, they lost. We're not favored. Michigan State at Oregon, they lost. We're not favored. They were heavy underdogs. Michigan at Washington, same thing. Michigan lost. They were not favored. So see where I'm going with this? Like I don't believe in this traveling two time zones in either direction is hurting or helping anybody. Because most of the time, you probably were not favored if you lost the game. It's the way, you know how gambling works. Anyway, just wanted to point that out because I think people are just making a big deal out of that. Let's see, back to Ryan Day here. He said on having former Oregon coaches on staff now, like Chip Kelly and Carlos Loughlin, he said they provided good information, but ultimately it's going to come down to the players that are on the field. I don't know how much they could really provide. what you see on the tape is what you see on the tape from what they've done, through the first 5 games. Um, Oregon's changed a lot since Chip Kelly was there. Dan Lanning has his own style and his own scheme. There are differences and similarities to Georgia's defense, where Lanning came from, but you have to fit the scheme to your players in order to win games. On the Oregon offense, he said they get the ball out quick. Gabriel is accurate, but again, his average depth of target is one of the shortest in the league. It's like 6 yards a pass. So he said they have good playmakers in space. They will take some shots to stretch the field north and south. So this is a very similar, almost mirror image to the Buckeye offense in many ways. But yeah, they do have playmakers. He said Oregon's passing game has athletes all over the place. Running back is very good. Oregon has the same thing Ohio State is looking for in an offense. You can't narrow down to one thing and take away one thing. He said they're going to spread you out, so you have to win those one-on-one battles. On the Oregon defensive front, he said they're very athletic, very good. Jordan Burch is strong and good against the run and pass. Derek Harmon, they know from Michigan State. He's leading the I believe, Power 5 in pressures from the D tackle. We're looking forward to the challenge, Ryan Day said, and there's been improvement on the OSU offensive line each week, but they're not where they need to be yet. So still need to see that improvement in the O-line. And this is going to be the toughest test, I believe. I know Iowa's defensive line's good. Their front seven's good, but I don't know if it's the same as Oregon. We'll see. Finishing up here on Ryan Day, he said on the Oregon generating pressure defensively and Will Howard's ability to handle the pressure this year, everything gets ramped up this week, he said. The protection has to be great, but so does the separation with the receivers. Howard is a part of that as well, and that he has to get the ball out on time. And kind of finishing up overall, the ability to handle this environment is big this week. And they're working on it hard. So they're probably piping in sound and music and stuff at practice, making it difficult to hear and all that. So we'll see. This is what we signed up for, right? Playing big games, win big prizes. So this will go a long way to telling us how good this team is. I feel really good about this team after kind of taking it to the Iowa defense last week. If not for the turnovers, we would have steamrolled them in the first half and then coasted in the second probably, but went kind of the other direction. But anyway, so Ryan Day feels good. I feel good. Other than that, tomorrow we'll talk Chip Kelly and Will Howard, what they have to say in their press conferences. And then Friday, I'll get you 5 keys to a Buckeye victory and best bets for Saturday. So I haven't even looked at the rest of the slate of games. I know there's a ton of good ones. But anyway, so I got for you today. Hopefully whoever is left on the west coast of Florida is bracing themselves. They're getting the hell out. Would have been a good weekend to go to Miami, but I hate Miami. It sucks. Anyway, just a travel tip. Anyway, so I got for you. I'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.